This is another pathway to permanent residency. If you are an international student in Canada, then you should consider this pathway. If you are an international student outside of Canada, then this is another pathway you should consider. One of the ways to get permanent residency in a country like Canada is through what we commonly call the express entry, or you go through the study pathway. Then after you finish your education, you get a job. After the job, then you now apply for permanent residency, which a lot of other factors would be considered. Or you can go through the job route. There are some particular provinces in Canada that have these pilot programs, but I'm not here to talk about that. Today, I want to talk about an update, a new immigration pathway, or a pathway to permanent residency. This pathway is called the New Brunswick Critical Work Pilot Program. Now, if you get from the name, you can already understand that it is a pilot program that a lot of workers will go through this to get permanent residency. But I want to tell you that there are a lot of other factors to consider. There are eligibility criteria to consider. There are certain companies that are willing to hire internationals. So if you are interested in a program like this, then you have to keep watching the video so that I explain all the details to you. Then in the second part of the video, I'm going to talk about some companies, because this is a new pilot program or a new pathway, and not a lot of companies are involved in this. But first, before I continue, I would like to make you understand that you have to get a job offer, and the job offer must come from one of these companies. Like I told you, a lot of other companies will come into play, all right, will be put in order, so that, because this is coming from the government of New Brunswick, this is another pathway to permanent residency. If you are an international student in Canada, then you should consider this pathway. If you are an international student outside of Canada, then this is another pathway you should consider. Guys, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on the notification bell at this corner here, so that when I post the next video, you would be the first to watch. Without wasting more time, let's go straight to the video. Like I said, the first thing you need to do to apply for the New Brunswick Critical Worker Pilot Program is to get a job offer from a company. I'm going to give you a list of those companies at the extreme end, all right? Now, which means that you have to get a job offer before you apply, like I already explained. Second thing you need to know is that there is language eligibility, or one of the eligibility criteria is to be able to prove that you can speak English or French. And in this case, you need a proficiency. They are asking for CLB4. I think CLB4 is equivalent to IELTS band score 7 and above. This is IELTS general in this case. I do not think academics is going to work here, all right? So that is something you should put into consideration. Or it's either you get the IELTS exam or another language qualification that could qualify you, or you get your employer to sign a letter, all right? It's called a letter of confirmation to prove that you can express yourself in English or French, and you are good to go, all right? This letter must be notarized. I would like to explain this here. It must be notarized. And remember, it's not from any company. And I would like to suggest that you should try this as an international student. If you have Canadian work experience, it's good to go. If you have international work experience, you are good to go, all right? The third criteria you should note when this pilot program is concerned is that you have to do your evaluation of your educational credentials. You can do it with the Education Credential Assessment, which is ECA, all right? Or I think you should also check if West Evaluation can do the evaluation of your results. Basically, you have to create an account with them, with the ECA or with West, all right? Then you pay some money, then you send your certificate. Your transcript, most of the times, is the transcript to the institution. Then they will do it and give you the copy. It is now this copy, the evaluated copy, that you are going to use, all right, to apply for this pilot program. And again, remember that the minimum education requirement is a high school certificate, all right? If you have a bachelor's degree, this is advantage number one for you. A master's degree, advantage, another advantage. And remember, not just the education, but these other qualifications must be included. The next thing you need to have is work experience, and you need to have at least 1,560 hours, all right, of work experience. Now, looking at it, if you calculate 1,000 hours or whatsoever, looking at the 7 hours, 8 hours interval, you are going to see that it is 1 year working experience that you need in order to apply for this particular pilot program. All right, there are a lot of other, I think Nova Scotia has their own, British Columbia has it, New Brunswick equally have it, but not this new pilot program I'm talking about. So you can consider which one you want to go for, and of course, before you know, you will be a permanent resident in Canada. Then another thing you need to know is that, like I said, there are few companies involved, and I'm going to be giving you the names of the companies now, and you need to have a job offer. All right, in the days ahead, maybe probably before you are watching this video, there may be more companies already, and I will still need to do some research, and I will put the links down there in the video description box for you to follow from there. All right, the first company, I'll be giving them with their spelling so that you can be able to follow keenly. The first company is Cook Aquaculture. All right, the Cook is spelled C-O-O-K-E. all right, aquaculture is A-K-U-A-C-U-L-T-U-R-E. all right, that's the first company that you can apply to get an offer letter. Then you now go into the pilot, into the system, into the website, and start the application. Put in your details, which the website will be down there for you to verify. Then the next company is called Groupe Savoie Inc. all right, the Groupe Savoie is G-R-O-U-P-E, then Savoie is S-A-V-O-I-R. all right, then the Inc is I-N-C. I hope you understand. Then the next company is Group Westco. all right, the same group like I mentioned, and Westco is W-E-S-T-C-O. all right, then another company you can check is MC Can Food Service Solution. all right, MC is MC, then the Can is C-A-I-N, Food Service Solutions. okay, then another one is Empirical Manufacturing Group. Empirical is I-M-P-E-R-I, Imperial, not Empirical, but Imperial now, I-P-E-R-E. so this is manufacturing group. These are some of the companies. I'm still going to check if there are more companies involved, and again, remember, this is for those that have these qualifications. If you think you have all the requirements, then why not check the website and you launch an application. And of course, remember, there are some certain fees to be paid, which you must go through them. And after 45 days, let me be specific here, when you create an account with the New Brunswick Critical Worker Pilot Program, after 45 days, you haven't added all your documents, or all credentials are not added to the system, and of course, it goes to IRCC or the government of Canada, your application date will be removed. Your application will be removed after 45 days. So this is something you should pay attention to, and please do not forget that you need to check other requirements. Check, there might be other companies that are available, and if I see, everything will be down there in the video description box. I hope you enjoyed this video. Till we meet again in another one. Peace. So let me just quickly do a video. This is for those who want to use the visitors visas to immigrate to Canada. Please don't sell your properties, okay? Remember, the visitors visa is not a resident visa, it's just a temporal visa. So when you go in there are two ways you can do it. You can change the visitors visa to a work permit, then you can change it to a study permit. First, I will talk about the work permit because that is what is pretty easy to do. You can equally go to school, but again, you have to start from short courses. It's not easy, all right? Remember, you need to be paying for those courses, and short courses are very expensive. Now, for the work permit, you need to first of all apply for a job, get an employer. If you've been watching my YouTube channel, you would understand how to go about this. Get an employer who is willing to hire you. Then when the employer hires you, they are going to give you every document you need. They will sponsor you. Then they will give you what is called LMIA, Labor Market Impact Assessment. They have to apply for it first from the government. Then the government is going to approve it. Now remember, the LMIA is from the employer, and the government needs to know if the employer actually posted that job and there was no Canadian citizen or no permanent resident in Canada who was willing to take up that job. That is the reason why they are giving to you who is on a visitor's visa. Most of the time, the visitor's visa take maybe 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, sometimes even 4 or 5. And now most employers, they are not willing to to follow this procedure, because they have to wait and do some follow-up. Though it's $1,000, but it's not really a problem to most people. The problem is just the process. But again, if the employer sees that you have the qualities, of course you have to send your CV. Your qualifications may equally count here. Then hopefully they are going to employ you. So I would say, do not be discouraged. If you think that you have the necessary documents to apply for a visitor's visa, why not use it and go into Canada? As a gentleman, you can cope. All right, if you can hustle up in your own home country and save money, while in Canada you can hustle up and find a job. It's just easy. But know that you would need your employer to apply for LMIA, labor market impact assessment, labor market, yes, LMIA, labor market impact assessment, for you to work legally and to change your visitor's visa to a work permit. And from there you can begin to bring in your family into Canada. Probably, yeah, maybe 3 months, 6 months. Remember, you have a minimum of maximum of 6 months to stay in Canada, and you cannot stay more than 6 months. But your visitor's visa, it can be given for maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 years, depending on your passport duration, even 10 years, it depends. Right, so this is something you need to put into consideration. Don't sell your things yet, but if you are going into Canada, I will advise you to strategize so that you know what you're going to do when you arrive in Canada. I wish you all the best. Please note that for more information, you can always follow my YouTube channel for details. All right, detailed videos on my channel. Till we meet again. For the study, how to change visitors to study permit, I'm going to talk about that later. But remember, you need to apply for a study permit from inside, let me say a study visa from inside of Canada, still on IRCC, and all requirements still stands. I shall bring the video very soon. Till we meet again. Bye bye.